It's 4:06 Eastern Time out here the day before New Year's Eve, and I'm standing in this beautiful woods here, which has a beautiful sunset, and it has the remains. Actually, it's not even the remains; it's the actual structure still that Nina and I had built together. We used to come and play out in the woods, and we built little forts everywhere out of teepee. We built teepees, and we'd build little tree houses and swings, and made little fairy places and little houses, and that's the things that we would do. We'd come out here and paint pictures. We'd do all kinds of cool things together, and it's amazing how dreary and broken down that these woods feel without the energy that was created by her in these. It's amazing to feel, I shouldn't say the energy, it's the lack of the energy that normally would have riveted right through our family, for the holiday. It's Nina, and we don't even celebrate Christmas because Nina has not been there with us or for us or any of that. And pending my my fights for Nina and how that goes, it could never be. The fucking death penalty, right? The death penalty is what the equivalent to a TPR is, and that is just goddamn absurd. Because you know what? I got the death penalty for doing a podcast. I got a death penalty because they said that I was late to a couple of my visits. I got the death penalty because they said I abandoned my child, which I did not at all. The state are the ones that did that. See, we've never really talked about what went on in my case and how the outcomes came. I've told you the story about the emotions and everything, but we've never talked about what went down in the case at all, ever. So let's hit the rewind button and let's just go into this a little bit. All right? So now at this point, as of December 30th, 2022, the last day of this year, minus the Eve day, so whatever, you know what I mean, idiot. At this point, all my charges have now been dismissed from the state of Maine. These same charges are what the state of Maine had substantiated myself from. Okay, so now the things that gave them the authorization to open an investigation on me and to allow them into my lives, and to not allow them into my lives, but the things that let them come into my lives, our lives, has been dissolved. These don't exist, right? So all of these things that are shoulda, coulda, woulda, and how dangerous I am, it wasn't even such. The state has dismissed the charges. So I was substantiated because of an alleged armed robbery incident with all kinds of alleged drugs and everything else to be dismissed. But yet they found me on the highest degree of negligence and abuse in the state of Maine to substantiate me. I am on a nationwide registry now because they have substantiated me of neglect and abuse. I am on a list that I can't get a job, I can't be near children, I can't, none of this stuff, and I've done nothing. And here's the other thing. In the Brown's Dictionary, abuse and neglect is signs, actual damage done to a person. There needs to be a victim involved. Has to be a victim. For abuse or neglect, there has to be physical. And then they say the physical draws to emotional, that emotional draws to this. There's like a whole list of things that need to be done, but it has to be physical injuries seen on a victim. No, sir. No. We don't have any of that. We don't have any doctors saying that Nina showed signs of even possible or not even slightly. Bet you if you took those doctors and asked them and used even the preponderance amount of evidence guideline or standard, we're not even close. Abuse and neglect. Look up that definition. Look up that definition and parallel some things to see if I even come close, if I even hold a match head to being guilty of this stuff. Abuse and neglect. Now, at the time of this, I'm going along and I'm already going to counseling for a multitude of things. But I broke my back when I was 16, and I had in my life come across the world of opiates, and when I would be prescribed them, I wanted to make sure that I maintained a level of responsibility and didn't fall off of that and go to a level of abuse with these pills because I was given them to use legally and acceptably. They wouldn't take, they did not accept the fact that my counselor would not give them any more information than the fact that yes, Darren was in counseling, yes, Darren does what he's supposed to, yes, Darren's involved, yes, Darren does, everything I ask, Darren screens clean, all this stuff. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you here is they did not follow what the guidelines of the HIPAA rules lay out so that my information that is confidential to myself, private to myself, the things that the Fourth Amendment right gives me privy to myself. My body as a person is mine, and mine alone. They don't accept that as an answer. These people are fucking dirty. Now, they have policies, but guess what a policy is? A policy is not a legal definition. It's not a legal anything. It's just a policy. It's the things that somebody goes by. Policy. So do we have to follow policies? If a policy is not a law, then what is it that we are to follow? Are we only to follow the laws? Because somebody needs to come and check these motherfuckers into place here because they're not following any sort of rules or regulations that they're supposed to. They're following policies. They're pushing this stuff on us as parents and children and all of this. Because let's not forget the real victims here are the little babies that are just dropped off somewhere with some weirdo that they haven't even fucking screened and put them in there and then told them that their mom and their dad don't love them. And this is acceptable in this country. Fucking joke. It's sickening, and the fact that nobody is around, there's nothing going on that's loud enough to put a stop to this. But whoa, like I said, you know what? You put a serial killer on death row, and oh, God should be here now, and let's have all of these groups come about, and let's have all of these people, show up and show their support for the serial killer who killed 17 innocent children because he shouldn't be put to death because we think it's wrong. My gosh. Please tell me that there are more people in this country that make sense than that. I don't think that there is. It's really, really heartbreaking that we're allowing parents across this country to be TPR'd every day. I mean, this stuff's happening every day, folks. Not once a week, not twice a week, 5 times a month. We're talking every day here. And the TPR is very final. Very, very, very final. We're allowing brand new, fresh out of college students to make the decisions for parents that have been with their children for years. And in a matter of a couple of months, these parents, these people, these kids that have either no life experience or have had too much of it that feel a certain way, or all of this, they're allowed to make a decision that ruins the rest of your life and that of your child's too. Because also, the child has gone on with this new foster family. The effects of that have been proven. You're not doing any good for them. It's just harming them. And the effects on the parents that have lost these things, holy Christ, we definitely don't talk about that. Like, it's awful funny. We have abortion clinics and these things. And listen, I'm not getting into this whether I think it's right or wrong, but for the sake of my argument and my story right here, it's funny that we can go through the processes and have abortion legal in this country, right? But if you've been TPR'd, you can never have a kid again. And the second you have that child, who's the first people that are in that hospital to see that baby? It's not your parents, it's the people from the Department of Human Services. And believe me, people, they are there. You can be from the state of Maine and go to California and try to have a child. Well, the Department of Human Services of California will be there to pick up your child. This doesn't stop. This process just goes and goes and goes, and nobody is there to even put up a hand of support. So you force these people into isolation. You've made people feel absolutely terrible about what's going on, even though they didn't do anything wrong. And then they just fall away. People literally that were once very successful and very happy and lived life just fall away. They fall away to have their tombstone say nothing more than their name and their born on date and they died date, because now the once parent is no longer a father or a mother. That once parent's no mother or brother or sister, and they're no longer an uncle or an aunt. They're nobody. They've been isolated, self-esteem and self-worth destroyed. The stress of having a child out there in existence that you can't see, touch, feel, and communicate any of that with. Imagine. I don't want you to imagine it because it sucks. It's horrible. The death penalty, guys. The death penalty. That is what a TPR is to a parent. The death penalty. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Whatever efforts I can make, I'm going to go ahead with. This is not done by any stretch. It's not over. The last thing that she will ever in her life have to wonder is why her mother and I would have given up such a beautiful baby, because we didn't give up a beautiful baby. We miss her so much. We love her so much. Every day, every second of every day is just a heart-wrenching, it's just the most terrible thing that you ever will experience in your life as a parent. I don't know how honestly, how the United States government can actually put into legislation such things and such terrible and harsh permanent punishments such as a TPR into our citizens. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, I can't even think of the word, I'm so wrapped up right now, into our civilization. Like, how does that even belong? Now, you have all of these parents running around and, fighting their asses off and screaming to the top of their lungs that these people are lying, that they don't deserve this, that that this didn't happen, this isn't this. Listen, here's the deal. The equivalent in the criminal world to the TPR is the death penalty. Let that sink in for a moment. If you were to compare the criminal world to the family court civil process of reunification and so on, and that is, there's the death penalty and there's TPR. No one has a problem going out and advocating for no more electric chair. Hell, they didn't even want people to kill Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy, when, he was being put to death. Isn't that something? People are out there standing up for serial killers to not be put to death because it's inhumane, but not a goddamn person is sitting around saying, whoa, TPR is wrong for parents. I got some other news yesterday. I was going to court for a conference with my final charge that I had on the books here that they slaughtered me at the TPR with, to a case management conference. I went to that yesterday. Lo and behold, I call up and they said, "Hey, Darren, wow, okay, never mind, don't bother today. The police department or the prosecutor has dismissed your charges." Now, they leveled me with that in the TPR hearing. They leveled me with that, with the cops coming up and making statements against me and assumptions on what, what's going on and what they thought was happening and what they thought I had and what I did have and what I didn't have. They got me. I had 2 Red's apple beers in my backpack. They weren't even mine. But come on. So because I had beer on my persons, that gives them a reason to TPR.
People ask you, say, how you doing? Even if you're having some difficult times, say, I'm blessed and highly favored. Because anytime you wake up and you don't have a white chalk outline around your body, it's a great day. And so I say to you, it's possible you can live your dream. If it's becoming a diamond, if it's having more, if it's achieving more, it's possible you can live your dream. It's necessary that you have a plan of action, that you're resilient, that you stick to, that you have the vision and never give it up, that you become creative and relentless in